Seated. Mulligan.
Your Honor, we're here in the matter of the State of Ohio versus Alexander J. Lane, case number 25CR902. Mr. Lane is present in court. He's accompanied by his attorney, Mr. Chad Mulkey. He was last before the court on July 22nd, where he entered a plea of guilty to one count of strangulation, a felony of the 5th degree. At the time of the plea, the court ordered a pre-sentence investigation report along with mental health evaluation and a victim impact statement. Those having been accomplished and delivered, we are here today for sentencing. And for the record, the victim is present in the courtroom today.
Mr. Mulkey.
Thank you, Your Honor. That is accurate. We're prepared to go forward with sentencing.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Your Honor, my client is 30 years old. He is single with no children. He indicated to me that he is currently unemployed. However, his talents lie in the restaurant industry. He indicates he can get work as a cook or along the lines of that type of work, and that's what he'd like to do. He does have a valid driver's license, so that will make things easier for him to get to work. What we are asking for, in short, Your Honor, is community control without any additional jail time. He understands that sober living and any other treatment may be ordered by the court. He indicated to me he's amenable to any sort of treatment options, including anger management and any treatment to address his substance abuse issues. Alcohol seems to be the primary one, Your Honor. So despite anything indicated to the contrary in the pre-sentence report, he is willing to do what he needs to get his life back on track, and specifically to not find himself in situations where he's putting his hands on his friends and his close friends, Your Honor. He doesn't have too much of a criminal record. There's a possession charge from 2015. Then he has his criminal damaging charge, for which he is on probation with Yvonne Brickell. It indicates that he's doing well on probation. He's in compliance. He indicated that he is receiving services at Signature Health with Jessica Jones with some mental health issues. He'd like to continue well, Your Honor. Shortly before this incident back in June, he had lost his tragic manner, Your Honor. He was dealing with that. I asked him why he didn't get time, since he's now indicating he's willing to do inpatient. It was just easier for him to tell, Your Honor. And then that brought us to the night at the Wild Burrito, where it was celebrating some sort of a birthday. Argument ensued, Your Honor. A conversation took place of a personal nature involving family type issues. It seems like, Your Honor, and I think that exacerbated things, that with his drinking not being in control at that time. And I think certainly his time in jail, and as of 9/4, he had 91 days in jail. So I believe now it'd be, since it's 9/9, 95 days in jail. I think that time has provided him some perspective, and I think the initiative he wants to take to get his game plan, get his life in order, is to take some badly needed treatment and follow up with any recommendations and assessments, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lane, what do you want to tell me before I impose sentence?
Take full accountability for my actions. I don't have any excuse for them, especially as far as my drinking. I know I should have taken the time to get mental health treatment much sooner than I did, and I neglected that. I neglected myself, my own mental health. I am truly, truly sorry, more than anything, for my actions. And I wish more than anything I could go back and do anything I could to make sure that never happened. I know what it takes, what it would take for me to not be that kind of person. And I just didn't do what I needed soon enough. For all of that, I am truly, truly sorry.
Well, why does this keep happening?
I'm sorry, sir?
Why does this keep happening?
Want my drinking, sir?
No,
Or
your penchant for violence,
it's the alcohol?
okay? So you're on probation in Painesville Municipal for assault, or a conviction, actually criminal damaging, but the assault was dismissed as part of a plea negotiation. So that happened in July of 20, or September of 24. This happens in June of 25. Why do you keep engaging in the same activity?
That case was different, honestly. It was an old employer of mine who had stolen some of my equipment, and we got into an argument, and I swatted his hand out of my face, which he even admitted to being in my face that time. As far as the being angry all the time, I can chalk that up to alcohol and lack of control with my mental health. I know I need to be on medication, and I know I need to be in more in-depth services.
How long have you known that?
I'm sorry?
How long have you known that?
A few years, at least.
How many years?
At least 4 or 5, sir.
When were you what are you diagnosed with as far as a mental disease?
Post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder.
Who diagnosed you with that?
I don't remember their name. This was when I lived in Virginia a long time ago, in my early 20s, late teens.
Okay, what treatment did you get for those conditions?
I was going through therapy and was on and off medications. It took a while trying to figure out the right medications
Where?
for me to be on. In
Where?
Virginia, sir.
Okay.
Last time I was on medication was probably like 6 or 7 years ago, maybe.
Okay, so why did you stop taking it?
I started to move around a lot and just
Why were you moving around a lot?
trying to find better work opportunities each time I moved.
Well, you moved to where? To Indiana?
I initially went from Virginia to Michigan, was helping a friend's family flip houses, remodel. Went to Indiana to stay with my family for a while because I had lost my grandmother, and I was just wanted to be around my dad for a little while.
I thought you didn't get along with your dad.
We were trying to make amends at the time, and us getting into an argument and his drinking is why I evidently actually moved away and came to Ohio. I had a friend out here whose parent owned a restaurant that I went to work at right when I got out here.
What were you arguing with the victim about?
Something stupid.
This is where we talked about.
What were you arguing with the victim about?
It really wasn't anything. I mean, it was just, I was...
Well, then, if it wasn't anything, then then why did you get mad and choke her? So, let's try it again, okay? This is the third time now.
I'm sorry.
What were you arguing with the victim about?
I honestly don't remember.
You don't remember. You don't remember.
I do remember...
Well, what did you tell, did you talk to the probation officer in the process of this interview for this sentencing?
Vaguely, yes.
Vaguely you talked to her?
We had just gone over the questionnaire and, not questionnaire, the paper packet for the pre-sentence investigation.
And so you don't remember what you told her?
Specifically for that.
Right.
Well, I do remember that evening. I can tell you what happened.
Well, let's start with that, then we'll get to the next part.
I do remember when we got home, I had more alcohol in me than I should have, which was any amount. And I went to go to bed, and I accidentally woke up my closest friend and I got upset because there was stuff on the bed, and it just went from there. There was no true discernible reason for me to have gotten upset in the first place. I just gotten upset because there was stuff in my spot on the bed, and I just...
What's your relationship to her?
Really close friends.
Okay.
We were starting to work on a relationship.
Starting to work on one or in one?
I guess in one, sir. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
So what specifically were you arguing about?
There was stuff on the bed I got upset over.
Okay. That's it.
Judge, may I have a moment with my client, please?
Okay. Seated. Mr. Malky?
Thank you, Your Honor. If the court would bear with us and be so kind as to perhaps repeat a specific question, I believe that after a conference...
Which one? I mean, I can't get answers to any of them.
Which I believe that I had a conversation with him regarding answering your questions, Your Honor, and I believe that in the best way I could explain to just answer them in the best way that he knows how. And I have...
Well, a better alternative would be to tell me the actual truth.
Certainly, Your Honor, and I've expressed that to him. He's having some trouble expressing himself, but again, he's prepared to answer any and all questions that you have for him, right down to the specifics of the material of the conversation, and the sequence of events and so forth, Your Honor, and his relationship with the victim in this case, Your Honor. So I've instructed him to do so truthfully, forthrightly, and in great detail, Your Honor. Thank you for the opportunity and the break.
Well, you would think he would know that walking in the door, but apparently not. So, when I asked you why you choked her, you said it was the alcohol. When I asked you what you were arguing about, you didn't remember. When I asked you what you told the PO, you said you vaguely remember. And then you gave me, finally, on the third attempt, some bullshit about something being on the bed. Okay, so what were you arguing about?
Sorry, Your Honor. We were arguing about an abortion
Okay,
that my partner had had.
that your partner had.
Yes, sir.
What partner?
Well, we were in a relationship, sir.
Okay, the victim.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So that's what you were arguing about.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, why didn't you just tell me that the first time?
I think I just got my timeline mixed up, honestly.
No, you didn't.
I was
You
thinking-
didn't want to tell me. Okay.
I did, I promise.
Okay.
I didn't think of that specific at the moment. I
Okay,
apologize.
that's why you choked her, because you were pissed. So you're a violent person, right?
I don't like to think I am, but I am.
Well, obviously you are. It's obvious to me that you're a violent person. That you kind of indicate you have mental health issues, you kind of don't. You kind of indicate that you have diagnoses, but there's no real proof of that. You kind of indicate that you have an alcohol problem, but you don't. So you're not all in on anything. Okay? I don't know if you have a mental health problem. I don't know if everything you say happened in your past happened. Okay? Because you're awful cagey with everybody you talk to in this whole process. That kind of leaves me in a bind. You know why?
Why, sir?
Why? Because I don't know who you are. I don't know what your problems are. If I don't know who you are and what your problems are, I don't know what the appropriate terms of probation are. What does that leave?
A lot of unknowns, so.
A lot of unknowns, which leads me in what direction?
Direction of leaving me in jail.
Right.
Yes.
And not this jail over here. Prison. Because you can't tell anybody what's going on in your life. For the past 30 years. What is this stuff about, what happened in Virginia with that conviction?
It was a possession charge. Your
Possession of what?
Honor. I believe it was heroin. If I'm not
Heroin.
mistaken. So Schedule 1 or 2 was the charge. It was
Okay.
the first time I'd ever tried it, and I overdosed when I tried it.
Well, why did you try it?
I was young, stupid, hanging out with the wrong people. I was depressed at the time, I do remember that. But I was hanging out with a friend one day, I remember smoking some weed, and he had some and offered me some, and I pretty much said, why not?
What treatment have you sought before for drugs and alcohol?
Other than just standard therapy, I had done a short amount of time in a halfway house in Virginia. Other than that, nothing, sir.
You weren't successful on probation there, were you?
No, sir.
Okay.
I failed a couple drug tests for marijuana and violated my probation.
Okay. So what mental health medication are you prescribed right now?
None, sir. I was supposed to get back on medication the day, actually, that I got incarcerated, the day of the incident. And
Who prescribed medication for you?
would have primarily for, I would have needed mood stabilizers.
No, who prescribed it?
I didn't get prescribed. It would have been someone at Signature Health.
Well, you told me you were supposed to get back on it that day.
We were supposed to have a meeting to figure out what to put me on.
Who was supposed to have a meeting?
Me and her first name was Jessica, I believe. I can't
Why didn't you have a meeting that day?
Work had told me because it was Father's Day weekend that I was not allowed to take the day off, otherwise I could have been fired. And I was waiting to hear a call back about a new date to go in.
Where?
To go into psychiatry at Signature Health.
Is that comport with what you have, Ms. Newman?
I was told, Your Honor, that he was supposed to have an appointment the day that he was arrested.
Okay. Well, this arrest happened in the evening, right?
Yes.
So you didn't go to the appointment that day?
Yeah, like I had said, Your Honor, I'm sorry. Work wouldn't let me take my morning shift off because my scheduled appointment was in the morning time, but I worked in the morning
How
time.
many times had you been to Signature before that meeting you were supposed to have that day?
I want to say I had maybe 4 therapy appointments. So I had more or less just started my therapy at that point. I can't remember the exact amount. but it wasn't many.
What do those records show?
Looks like he completed his assessment on May 5th of 2025. And looks like he had one appointment with Jessica Jones on June 2nd.
Who's Jessica Jones?
My therapist, sir.
When was the assessment done? May, you said? And what did they determine from that assessment, do you know?
They diagnosed him with adjustment disorder with mixed anxiety and depressed mood. The rule out of borderline personality disorder, and they referred him for individual counseling and psychiatry, and he had accepted those services.
Okay. So he goes to a counseling appointment in June. Was there a psychiatry appointment? Was that supposed to be the day of this happen?
Out of the paperwork I received, Your Honor, it does not state that there was an appointment. It doesn't state that there was not an appointment. It just shows the most recent one, which would have been June 2nd.
So it doesn't say he had an appointment the day of this offense?
No, this was all that was sent over.
So you didn't have an appointment?
I did, sir. I just didn't make it to it.
I
It
know.
would
How
have been
come the
my first
records don't
psychiatry.
show that?
I never had my first meeting with the
What,
psychiatrist.
so why are you out drinking when you're in the midst of getting your mental health assessment?
Lack of self-control.
Who else lives at that house?
The victim and her family.
Younger kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of whom saw you choking her.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What effect do you think that has on her?
Definitely not a good one
Right.
at all. Probably one that she may end up needing therapy for.
What?
Probably one she may end up needing therapy for.
Okay. I don't think you're very serious about any of this stuff.
Why not?
Well, why? Because if you were, you'd have done something about it a long time ago and you'd never be here right now.
It's fair.
I think the only reason that you're talking like this is because now I got to do something with you and you're trying to put the best face on it. That's why I think you're talking like this. Well, you know how I know that? Because when I ask you questions, you're not truthful.
I promise I'm being as truthful as the best of my ability, sir.
No, you're not.
There's some things I just may not remember correctly.
Right. Well, you're not. You're not being truthful to the best of your ability. If you were being truthful to the best of your ability, your attorney wouldn't have asked for a minute and I wouldn't have left here and had to come back, okay? So what is it you think you need so that you can avoid choking women in the future?
I need very intensive mental health treatment and substance abuse treatment for my alcohol.
Like what? Like what kind of treatment? What have you looked into?
I haven't looked into too much, unfortunately.
How long have you been sitting in jail?
Around 90 days.
96 days. And you haven't looked into anything?
I've talked a little bit with the mental health person that comes in. And she has told me about
From
some...
Crossroads?
From Signature Health, sir.
Okay.
She's told me some like inpatient places. There's one called Everett that she had mentioned to me, which actually sounded kind of nice. I guess it's part mental health, part substance abuse that they do there. And it was one that she had said she was going to recommend for me, and I actually kind of wanted to do it.
Where's that located?
I don't know exactly. I know she said it was in the area. But I know she said it's up to 90 days. It's up to a 90-day program where they get you on medication, they take care of substance abuse stuff, kind of like a halfway house, I guess she had described it to me as. And I think something like that would be beneficial.
Ms. Mulligan?
Your Honor, the state would point out that this is a crime of violence and that the defendant was on probation at the time of the offense. But as I mentioned earlier, the victim is present in court, and she had said earlier that she did not wish to make a statement. I believe that's Dan's. But she has expressed her desire for the defendant to get treatment, especially mental health treatment. During the break, Ms. Newman came to me and pointed out that the days credit in the PSR is not accurate, that the accurate number of days credit would be 89 days rather than 90.
89 as of today?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report, the psychological evaluation. The victim impact statement. Listen to counsel, listen to the defendant. Considered all the provisions in 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 4 years. You're going to serve 140 days in jail with credit for 89. The last 30, you're going to do the jail treatment program. You're going to complete that and follow all recommendations. After you complete that, you're going to enter into the NeoCap program, complete that and follow all recommendations. After you complete that, you're going to enter into a dual diagnosis program for treatment for mental health and drugs and alcohol. Complete that program. Follow the recommendations. no drugs or alcohol. You'll be screened. You're to see only one doctor and one dentist and one pharmacy for any medication. Take your medication as is prescribed. Sign releases so probation can get your records. You're to have no contact with the victim or her family members. You're to attend at least 4 AA meetings a week and maintain a sponsor. Obtain and maintain full employment and pay the costs and supervision fees in this case. Anything else, Ms. Newman, as far as terms?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand the terms?
I'm not sure if I do, Your Honor.
Okay, what don't you understand?
The specific sentencing for me, as far as, you said NeoCap,
Right?
is that to run right after, you said 60 days, the last 30 being JTP and then NeoCap?
Now you got 51 more days to do in jail. The last 30 are the jail treatment program.
Okay, and I have NeoCap after that?
Right?
How long is that, sir?
Well, it depends on what you do there. Could be 4 months, could be 5 months, could be 6 months. And apparently you don't think you need anything like that.
I never said I didn't.
Well, I mean, the look on your face when you're counting up days tells me everything I need to know. You don't think you need that.
I agree, I do need treatment.
But
Isn't NeoCap more like just jail, prison? I didn't
no,
know.
no, prison is like prison. Prison is like prison. Okay. NeoCap's a treatment facility, so I don't send you to prison. Now, you can't treat somebody who don't want to be treated. And apparently you don't want to be treated, or you want to be treated the way you want to be treated. You want to design the program because you think you know what's best. You don't know what's best. Otherwise, you wouldn't be out choking women. Any other terms that you have a question about?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So you listen. You can either go and take advantage of the opportunity you're given, or you can do what I suppose you're probably going to do, is just kind of put your time in and blow it off, and when you get out, end up in the same boat again, because you don't seem all that interested in the program I set forth for you.
I just don't know much about it, sir.
Well,
I haven't heard much about it other than that it's not good. But I mean, it's only.
where'd you hear that from?
Other inmates, that's it. So
Other
I don't
inmates.
really know, I don't know.
See,
the
I
truth
think
behind it.
that's part of your problem, is you listen to the wrong people. If these were a bunch of goddamn geniuses over here, then they wouldn't be over there.
You're right. I was
Because
just saying-
they would have figured out how to live their own life without interference from the police or the courts. But they can't. So they don't know shit about which they speak.
I was just saying that to say I didn't know anything truthful about it, sir. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Listen, you do whatever you want to do, okay? If you do this stuff, then you'll straighten your life out, presumably. And I won't see you again. If you don't do this stuff, then you won't straighten your life out, and I'll see you again. I don't have any control over that. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm just suggesting to you that what you've been doing the last 30 years ain't working. If it were working, you wouldn't be sitting here. So you do whatever you want. Ms. Mulligan, anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mulkey?
Not at all, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right.